Welcome along to this Now's Buy-to-Let Market Update, and I'm joined via Skype with a big supporter of Now's. It's Kate Faulkner. So welcome to Kate, and you've been very visible of late. We've been enjoying your updates on ITV. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing with ITV and the kind of messages that you're trying to get out there.
Well, my view on property is that we don't always get the right information out to people, and we're either scaring them that prices are going down or scaring them that prices are going up. So one of the things we're trying to do is to help them understand what's a normal market and what do you do in an overheating market and what do you do if a market is underperforming. So that's one of the things we're doing. The other thing is ITV London was hugely supportive. They ran a capital crisis, which it is really in London, for housing. And we were able to talk about the importance, particularly in London, of working with the right agent and choosing your agent first before you choose the property, so you don't end up with roads, basically.
Yes, because we've had a few incidents recently, like London Housing Solutions, who have gone bust, and a number of other agents. And I did see your piece, which was specifically for tenants to help them make wise choices. And one of the points you kindly got across was to work with an accredited or licensed agent.
Absolutely, and it's just essential. People don't understand that all agents aren't the same. And there isn't typically, sadly, and especially in London, trust for agents, which I think is really unfair, because you and I work with the good ones, like a Now's agent and somebody on a safe agent side. So they're the ones who care about their clients, and that's what I'm interested in, is if we can find companies that are accredited, they've got a third-party complaint system, and if something goes wrong, to protect them. But more importantly, if you give your rent to them, or as a landlord you choose somebody to act on your behalf, if somebody runs off with the money, which happens, or if somebody goes bust, it's so important that that's protected.
And that's where really Safe Agent comes in as well, because that is the signpost to agents that have recognised client money protection in place. So you're keen to get that message across as well.
Very, very much so. It is, for me, don't touch an agent as a tenant or a landlord unless they've got that client money protection. That's essential.
Now, obviously, we've got the mandatory regulation with the property ombudsman scheme, which is coming this summer, I believe. Do you think that that goes far enough to regulate the lettings industry?
No, I don't, and I think that anybody who is already a member of or Now's, or indeed a Safe Agent member, would agree, because it's kind of crazy. Estate agents are regulated or under a redress scheme, but they don't actually hold any money. Yet you've got all these letting agents who actually physically hold potentially hundreds and hundreds of thousands of cash, and they legally don't have to have client money protection. So for me, unfortunately, it's not enough. So I will only ever continue to recommend to make sure that you have a Safe Agent or Now's, and of course or Ricks.
Well, that's great news to get that message out, because most people, or tenants, particularly the consumer, isn't aware of this, and the only experience that they have is when they encounter a rogue agent, and that's what delivers the headlines. And I think we want to bring some balance to this, to say that there are many, many agents out there who are voluntarily committing to professional standards and providing a very high level of service. And these guys that have voluntarily committed also need to be recognised that they have done that previously voluntarily.
You're 100% right. And one of the things that I do know with agents, and particularly the good ones, is I wouldn't expect me to say this, but sometimes I think they're a little bit shy to mention it.
Yes.
Do you know what? I've done sales, I do marketing, and the first thing I would do if I sat down either with a tenant or a landlord is say to them, look, whether you rent a property from me or not, can you just make sure it's from one of these schemes? So in the case of Now's, and the beauty is, from a sales perspective, is you've probably wiped out 70% of your competition in one go. Now, if they go to the next agent and they don't mention that, but they go to a third and fourth, and the third person mentions it, then we'll get the message out there. Because many journalists and much of the media don't know, so they don't write about it. And if they don't, I do tell them off on the industry's behalf, by the way. So it is really important that every chance you have as an agent with a landlord or with a tenant to make sure they understand why membership of NALS is so important. And I do think we forget to mention it on every occasion we could, and that doesn't help us.
Well, fantastic advice there, Kate. You're absolutely right. It is a marketing differentiator and it's a good tool to use to educate the consumer. So thank you very much for joining us, and thank you also for your continued efforts to make the private rented sector a better place for everybody. It's great that you're out there spreading the message.
Thanks very much.